article here today to get into, folks. And again, give a big shout out to Greg Rubini. If you have not yet, please get over to the Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, create one. You want to follow along here. You're going to get good information in a timely manner. And this story today wouldn't be possible without all his hard work. All right, let's get into it here. A British submarine is cruising off the East Coast, deep underwater, 200 miles from Washington, D.C., as part of a NATO scheduled drill in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, it should be noted this is an Astute class, which is the latest class of nuclear-powered fleet submarines, SSNs, in service with the Royal Navy. The class sets a new standard for the Royal Navy in terms of weapon load, communication facilities, and stealth. Now, Michael Still is the captain of this British submarine. Michael Still is a friend of former GCHQ director Robert Hannigan and an acquaintance of former CIA director, no other than John Brennan. Now, the former GCHQ director Robert Hannigan had arranged encrypted comms between Brennan and the British captain under Brennan's request. Now, Benjamin Key, a vice admiral of the British Royal Navy, had previously instructed Michael Still, the submarine captain, to follow Brennan's orders. Michael Still had been briefed by Benjamin Key and Robert Hannigan on the plan. Operation FFP SLIP. This Operation FFP SLIP is classified. On the early morning hours of January 21st, 2019, John Brennan gives Michael Still, the submarine captain, the approach and up order. British submarine captain executes, activates stealth mode, and cruises towards the East Coast. The British submarine is now closer, about 100 miles away from Washington, D.C. It rises from the deep to just about 50 feet below sea level. The British submarine captain sends Brennan the encrypted "all clear, we're ready" signal. 21 January 2019, 0854 Eastern Standard Time. John Brennan sends back to Still the go order. The captain acknowledges, sends the order down to the weapons crew. The crew execute.
7, 6.
The cruise missile is launched from the British Royal Navy submarine. It is a Russian-made cruise missile, which had been captured by the British Navy in 2014 and kept in custody in a secret location in Scotland by a British Navy officer, a John Brennan friend.
3.
In between protection of national security, obviously the government's need to obtain intelligence data.
John Brennan watches the action live streamed by the NRO satellite station above Washington, D.C., equipped with high-resolution surveillance equipment. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi is in Brussels, Belgium, in a conference room at the European NATO headquarters. At the White House, President Trump and Vice President Pence are having a meeting with NSA Director Nakasone. With the cruise missile flying fast at 530 miles per hour at 300 feet below radar detection level. At 9:02 a.m. Eastern, the cruise missile approaches Washington, D.C. The Washington Memorial Obelisk is in sight.
2, 1.
White House is destroyed, in ruins. President Trump and Vice President Pence were killed. There is shock, horror, and confusion all throughout the nation. Antifa members rejoice and celebrate in the streets of San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Boston, Washington, and they do it in their normal way of trashing everything. Nancy Pelosi is at the NATO headquarters in Brussels, together with her deep state friends, among them former GCHQ Director Robert Hannigan and Vice Admiral Benjamin Key of the British Royal Navy. She rejoices at the success of the operation and sends a big thank you to John Brennan. Deep State puppet President Macron of France sends President Pelosi his congratulations. So does Angela Merkel of Germany, and Boris Johnson of the UK, and George Soros, and boozy Jean-Claude Juncker of the European Union. Folks, Nancy Pelosi is now the first female president of the United States. Luckily, this never happened. The Pelosi-Brennan deep state plan was averted and neutralized before it ever even began, in the days before November 17th of 2018. Thanks to our guys at the NSA and our patriots at military intelligence, Trump, we see all, we hear all. A big shout out to the U.S. Marine Corps, #USMC, special thanks. Sergeant Major Mike at 49's Patriot USMC, Semper Fi. Because if this would have happened, it would have been a horror and a nightmare. The deep state plan was a JFK assassination reload 2.0. with much more sophisticated and powerful weapons. A shock and awe. An event September 11th style.
Something, I repeat, has happened in the motorcade route.
I was on my way home and I heard it on the car radio.
So where is Nancy, #Pelosi, now? And then you ask, where's John Brennan now? Where are all the other conspirators? The deep state wanted to assassinate both Trump and Pence at the same time in the same location. They wanted and agreed to have Nancy Pelosi as the president of the USA. And just ask yourself, how could the deep state accomplish that? This is just a short novel, fiction, pure speculation, nothing more. But what if there is some kernel of truth here? And a big shout out to U.S. Navy engineer Gary Holland, who has been a special consultant in writing of this thread. Gary is a nuclear engineer who worked on U.S. submarines. I relied on his expertise in the subject of submarines and cruise missiles. Thank you wholeheartedly, fellow Patriot, at GHolland04. And go Navy. Hoorah! It's also worth noting that Donna Brazil, interestingly enough, on the 18th of January, put #Madame Speaker today, #President Pelosi shortly thereafter, #MLK weekend is underway. And then on top of that, she left another tweet here, leave something behind, #legacy, #MLK day, a 5 and a 10. Now Lincoln, we know, was assassinated. Hamilton dueled in what was a long culmination of a long and bitter rivalry between the two men. Vice President Burr shot Hamilton, delivering what proved to be a fatal wound. That's how it went down in the history books anyway. And what is this about? A contract is a contract. In mafia lingo, a contract is when someone hires a killer to murder someone else. What is Trump hinting at here? Nancy, I am still thinking about it, the State of the Union speech. There are so many options, including doing it as per your written offer made during the shutdown. Security is no problem. And my written acceptance, while a contract is a contract, I'll get back to you soon. Thanks for joining in. I'm Michael from the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all.